Chapter 7 Writing Routine and Positive Message by Group 6. Meet Alan. He worked in sales department. He is really like his job. And then he got his promotion as sales manager. But suddenly his boss called him to make a reply on business matter. But Alan didn't know how to do it. So what should Alan do? Okay, let's start with the material of this chapter first. Much of our daily business communication will involve routine and positive message, including routine requests for information or action, reply on routine business matter, and positive message such as good news announcement and goodwill message. From product operation hints and technical support to refund and ordering glitches. These messages are the focus of this chapter. Okay, strategy for routine requests. The first one was open with your request, and then explain and justify your request, and lastly, request specific action in a courteous clause. In open with your request, you can make your request at the beginning of the message. Just be sure to be clear and courteous. First, pay attention to tone. Instead of demanding action like send me the last version of the budget spreadsheet, you should show respect by using words such as please, could you, or I would appreciate. 2. If appropriate, acknowledge that you are asking for someone's time and effort. Even if responding to your request is part of someone's job responsibility, a few words of acknowledgement will help maintain a positive relationship. 3. Be specific. State precisely what you want. Doing so will save time for both you and the other party. For example, if you request the latest market data from your research department, be sure to say whether you want a first-page summary or 100 pages of raw data. Then, explain and justify your request. Use the body of your message to explain or justify your request as needed. Make the explanation as smooth and logical outgrowth of your opening remarks. If complying with the request could benefit the reader, be sure to mention that. If you have an unusual or complex request, break it down into specific, individual questions so that the reader can address each one separately. These considerations show respect for your audience's time and will help them respond more accurately to your request. 3. Request specific action in a courteous clause. Close your message with 3 important elements. First, deadline and other important information that will help the reader respond. 2. Information about how you can be reached. 3. An expression of appreciation or goodwill, like, please send the figure by April 5 so that I can return first quarter result to you before the April 15 board meeting. I appreciate your help. When you say thanks, avoid the phrase thank you in advance, which suggests that your request is more of a comment and the reader doesn't have any choice but to comply with it. Common example of routine requests. First, asking for information or action. Most of your routine requests will involve asking someone to provide information or take some specific action. As you plan your message, think about what you can do to make responding to the request as easy as possible for your recipient. Doing so in a courteous and respectful, and it will likely prompt better and faster response that will benefit you. If it's relevant, point out any benefit of complying with your request, whether it's a personal benefit to those involved or something that will benefit your organization as a whole. Naturally, be sure to adapt your request to your audience and the situation. 2. Asking for recommendation. Employer, business partner, investor, leader, and the organization often ask applicants to consequences before hiring or promoting people, extended credit, awarding contract, or granting scholarship or other benefit. Consequently, at various stages of your career, you may need to ask people who know you in a professional or a personal capacity to provide a recommendation or serve as a reference. A recommendation usually takes the form of a brief letter or email message that expresses someone's confidence in your ability to perform a job, to fulfill the term of contract, or to do whatever the situation entails. 3. Making claim and request adjustment. If you are unhappy with the product or service, you can make a claim, a formal complaint, or request an adjustment, a settlement of claim. In either case, it is important to maintain a professional tone in all your communication, no matter how angry or frustrated you may be. Keeping your cool will help you get the situation resolved sooner. Open with a clear and calm statement of the problem, along with your request. In the body, give a complete and specific explanation of the situation. Provide any information the recipient needs in order to verify your complaint. In the clause, politely request specific action or convey a sincere desire to find a solution. And if appropriate, suggest that the business relationship will continue if the problem is solved satisfactorily. Be prepared to back up your claim with invoice, sales receipt, cancel check, date correspondence, and any other relevant document. Send copy and keep the original for your files. Strategy for routine reply, routine message, and positive message. First, open with the main idea. In most cases, you can get right to the point with this routine message. Of course, you will want to adapt your opening to the specific situation. If the message is unexpected or you haven't been in a contact with the reader for a long time, a brief explanation of why you are writing is appropriate. Depending on the nature of the message, a few words of socializing can be a good way to foster a positive working relationship, just as you usually would do on the phone or in person. In this example, a manager is writing to let subordinate know that her personnel has been approved. The tone is upbeat, and after a brief thanks, the writer moves directly to the good news. 2. Providing necessary detail and explanation. Use the body to explain your point completely so that your audience won't be confused or doubtful about your meaning. As you provide the details, maintain the supportive tone established in the opening. This tone is easy to continue when your message is entirely positive. However, if your routine message is mixed and must convey mildly disappointing information, put the negative portion of your message into as favorable as context as possible. The more complete description is less negative and emphasize how the audience can benefit from the change. However, if the negative news is likely to be a shock or particularly unpleasant for the reader, you want to use the indirect approach. 3. Ending with a courteous clause. Your message is more likely to succeed if it leaves your reader with the feeling that you have their best interest in mind. You can accomplish this by highlighting a benefit to audience or by expressing appreciation or goodwill. If follow-up action is required, clearly state who will do what next. Common example of routine replies, routine message, and positive message. First, answering requests for information or action. Every professional answers requests for information or action from time to time. If the response is straightforward, the direct approach is appropriate. Keep the message brief and confirm any expectation, such as when you will provide information or perform a task. However, if you need to give an unexpected negative response to a request, consider the indirect approach covered in Chapter 8. For positive response, a prompt, a gracious, and throughout response will change how people think about you and the organization you represent. When you are answering requests from a potential customer or other decision maker, look for subtle and respectful ways to encourage a decision in your favor. 2. Granting claim and request for adjustment. Even the best-run company make a mistake, and each of these events represent a turning point in your relationship with your customer. If you handle the situation well, your customer is likely to be even more loyal than before because you have proven that you are serious about customer satisfaction. However, if a customer believes that you mishandled a complaint, the situation could get even worse. Dissatisfied customers often take their business elsewhere without notice and tell numerous friends, colleagues, and social media contacts about the negative experience. A transaction that might be worth only a few dollars by itself could cost you many times that amount in lost business. 3. Providing recommendation and reference. Letter of recommendation used to be considered a fairly routine matter, but employment recommendation and reference can raise complex legal issues. Employees have sued employer and individual manager for providing negative information or refusing to provide letter of recommendation. An employer has sued other employer for failing to disclose negative information about job candidates. Before you write a letter of recommendation for a former employee or provide information in response to another employee background check, make sure you understand your company policy. Your company may refuse to provide anything more than dates of employment and other basic details. 4. Sharing routine information. Many messages involve sharing routine information, such as project update and other status notification. Use the opening of this routine message to state the purpose and briefly mention the nature of the information you are providing. Give the necessary detail in the body and end your message with a courteous close. 5. Writing instruction. Writing instruction for employee or customer is another common communication task. For major projects such as user manual, company often employs specialist technical writer, but you could be involved in writing shorter instructions on a variety of topic. 6. Announcing good news. To develop and maintain good relationships, smart companies recognize that it's a good business to spread the word about positive development. Such development can include opening new facility, hiring a top executive, introducing new product or service, or sponsoring community event. Because good news is always welcome, use the direct approach. 7. Fostering goodwill. All business messages should be written with an eye toward fostering positive relationship with the audience. But some messages are written specifically to build goodwill. You can use this message to enhance your relationship with customers, colleagues, and other business people by sending friendly, even unexpected notes with no direct business purpose. Whether you're thanking an employee for a job well done or congratulating a colleague for a personal or professional achievement, the small effort to send a goodwill message can have a positive and lasting effect on the people around you. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. And see you in the next video. This video are created by Zulfa Aulia, Feri Pirmansyah, Reni Asmawati, Rasha Nurala Julianti, Rangga Anugrah, Neng Mutiara Salsabila, Feri Pirmansyah, Fania Septiany, Erina Ayu Lestari, Amelia Pitriyani, Alvira, and Sandi Maulana Sigit.